All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I thought with the buzz around the Open, we could do with a little bit of a podcast and a little YouTube video just to kind of talk about how good our New Zealand athletes are doing, giving a lot of kind of spotlight to them, and just kind of doing some acknowledgement where probably worldwide media of CrossFit won't cover any of our athletes, but I think we're doing a bloody good job. So we're going to talk about males, females, and we're going to look at some teams and look at what it kind of means to hit some qualifying positions for our athletes and what we could see potentially in the rest of the Open, and then what that means from the Open to quarterfinals, and who to watch and who's on the kind of worldwide stage that isn't in the country but is from New Zealand and still performing well. This is Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we still have a few hours until score submissions are closed. So a lot of things can change from now until then. So expect to think a few more scores worldwide pop up, and then some shifting on the leaderboard. But without further ado, let's get into it. Quickly, if you're not already, like, subscribe, that kind of good stuff really helps me out and will keep me doing this. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're going to start with the men with the New Zealand scores. So what we're going to see is just going down the leaderboard. We're just going to talk about a few athletes, a few scores, what it means for our athletes. So looking at the top of the leaderboard, Ben Fowler, he finished at 11:50, which is pretty crazy. I was reading a stat the other day that if you want to finish, you've got to hold 30 reps a minute. So the fact that he's doing that is pretty phenomenal in terms of the score. And there's not a lot of people finishing in the world. So for him to kind of finish, I think that's pretty sick. 25th in the world, you can see there. So yeah, a really good start by Ben. Well done, mate. Where is he doing the workout out of? Affiliate CrossFit Salon, so still in the country, which is wicked. Cool to see some athletes that are doing really well in the country still. Adam, he got 345 reps. Does it say where that is? Yeah, 11 wall balls in the last 20. Oh, so close, but such a good score. And obviously, like, getting anywhere in this area of the workout is crazy good. So well done him. And I know he's been putting in a lot of training and effort, him and his team. So this is pretty cool to see. 11:38 for his tie break time for the 18 box jumpers. So he really kind of had to hustle his last few wall balls. It's a good job. Next, 4 wall balls. Out of Kiermaier. What was it? Kaki. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. So sorry. Kia. I'll learn how to pronounce your name. Sorry, mate. But that's pretty good. Like, great score. Again, like, even getting to this point, you have to really be hunting it down and moving pretty efficiently with your movement. Ben Jansen, another good score, 3 wobbles into that. Probably moving more into those high rocks training now, but not a bad workout for him. Dominic, bigger fella, 186 centimeters, yeah, 17 box jumpers. So almost got back to the wobbles tie break with his 18 box jumpers at 10 minutes. So very well done there. And a little score down. Finn, Sam, Bryce, nice. Luke Piso still in the mix. That's cool to see. What do you get? 30 wobbles, finish that. Well done, mate. Any names that we haven't kind of seen pop up yet? Not really. I think more of the usual suspects now are kind of like rising to the top. Maybe if we look at the Oceania leaderboard for the men, we might see a few more Kiwis. Iko, pretty good score. 4th in the world so far. That's insane, going 11:21. That's so quick. Who else? Ben's there. Kind of done already. Good stuff. Dean Flute, still hanging in there, 37. Nice. Oh no, he's fully into his high rocks training, so that's pretty cool to see. Who else have we got? Bailey Martin. He got 5 wall balls, so just missed out on finishing the workout. He's got some pretty quick box jump overs as well. Yeah. Isaac Rasmussen and Chocolate Box, Australia, 3 wall balls. Some pretty good scores. Oh, Ricky Grass down there, nice. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of New Zealanders near the top of the leaderboard in Oceania. And if we look at the worldwide, look, there's Hiko sitting 4th. How cool. Having a Kiwi so high for the first workout. I'm going to scroll a little bit Steven Machewski. Oh, where's he out of? Europe. +6'4". Interesting. Okay, has he made the move? Didn't know that. But 154 reps. Where's that at? 154 reps. Interesting. I wonder if he'll be back in New Zealand for any of the big New Zealand competitions or touring, or is he over there now? All right. Well, let's move on to the females. Now, there's been a lot of chat about the females getting higher scores just because of the range of motion that they had to travel through, or the wall ball height target. Sorry, hold on a second. There's been a lot of chat around the females probably potentially having the potential to do higher scores or better scores, purely for the fact that the wall ball's lighter, they've got a lower target and a lower box. And so when you get a female that is roughly around, average male height, they're actually going to have a really good workout. Not saying that they're not fit, they're not doing the hard work, just saying it comes at that point, maybe slightly in their favor. I'm not going to say easier. It's definitely in their favor with a workout like this. So it's not a tall guy workout, but I think it is a tall girl workout. That's my opinion anyway. And we might see that with a few of our scores here. So Michelle Hayes, 11:34. So quick, man. That's insane. And again, she's part of the team with Emily, Julian, Bryce, and Aiden to go make their stake at the games this year, which by the looks of it, they're doing pretty phenomenally so far. So well done. Danny Ford, 11:52. Great score for her. Just kind of workout she wanted, I would assume. And then we've got Jean Collins doing really well there. 12 wall balls in that 20. Great score. Olivia Kitson-Clark getting the 9 wall balls. So a lot of these athletes getting really close to finishing the workout. And you'll probably see a lot more females in that last set of wall balls. Imogen Christie, Gemma Ellis. Yeah, how cool that we're seeing a lot of these girls getting really close to finishing the workout, which just shows like how good our girls are. Renee, having a little cheeky look at your score there. But yeah, so again, if we go back and look at the Oceania region, let's see how many kind of girls we have in the top echelons there. So Grace Walton finishing in 11:24. Pretty quick, hey? Gemma Huck. And again, you can see they're finishing within the worldwide placing there. So the fact that Michelle Hayes is sitting 28th in the world is pretty sick. And then Emily's right behind her, 34th. What else we got? Gabby Smith. Yeah, so kind of just focusing on the New Zealand athletes here and just looking at even some across the ditch and where they're sitting with their scores. It's cool to see like there's a lot of Kiwis now in that kind of top echelons of the whole Oceania leaderboard, not just dominated by Australians anymore. Yeah, so some pretty cool scores coming out of there, and what we'll see is the top, I think it's 30 from the quarterfinals go. So there's still another stage after this. So the Open, although it probably is a good indicator where people are at, we are still focusing on the quarterfinals leaderboard once that rolls around. All right, worldwide. Let's see where a lot of our girls are worldwide. And the first girl that we have from New Zealand, looking like Michelle Hayes, of course, 30th in the world. How cool. And Emily Julian as well. I know that was sitting pretty high up when they first put the scores in, so that's really cool to see. So well done, girls. I'm just going to go back to the Oceania leaderboard and just scroll down a little bit more. See what a couple girls are. A few more girls. And there's probably a few more people that are waiting to put their scores in. Old leaderboarding, as I used to say back in the day. So yeah, you'll see you get a few more scores change around from here, I'd assume. How cool. All right, let's look at some teams. So teams this year as a straight qualifier for the Open. So it's all of your Open scores, your top 4 scores for each workout will count towards your team score to go to Tour and Pro. So Tour and Pro, top 30 teams from the Open leaderboard from the teams are getting invited this year. So this really matters for teams. So if you are an affiliate that is looking to get teams to Torian this year, maybe redos actually do matter this year for you guys and getting the best score possible. Of course, you have to be CrossFit affiliate to go to Torian or any kind of semifinals. Yeah, and then I think Torian taking 40 teams, getting top 30 from the Oceania leaderboard, and then the other 10 spots remaining for the top 10 in the world invite. So that was trickle down until they get 40 teams there. So take a look at the top 10 first. We've got Kiamaya, and again, as I said, they are taking a stab at the games this year, so this is a great start for them. They've got 2 good boy scores and then 2 phenomenal girl scores, so well done, you guys. Next, Carbon Method. What a good little team there. So sitting 5th at the moment, 40th in the world with their team score. That's really cool to see. And then we look down at 8th is CrossFit Mecca Blue. They had a couple teams last year head over to Torian Pro, so cool to see them hanging in there again. Go down to the next 15, and we've got Soar Performance CrossFit. Now I think they've just affiliated this year for it. And again, they've got those pretty good scores in there with Danny Ford finishing 52. Who else have we got? Down to the next 5. We've got CrossFit TDG. They've got a good score in there. CrossFit 3216 and CrossFit East Tamaki Renegades. So already we're seeing in the top 20 quite a few New Zealand teams. So that's going to be really cool this year if they can hang in there, what they can do this year. Next 25 and next 5, no New Zealand teams there. And then top 30 so far, we've got CrossFit Kotahi and Porirua. So then have a couple of CrossFit teams. And then they kind of some teams on the outskirts. We'll go down to top 40 and see who's in there, who's in the mix. We've got Mecca, so another Mecca team, which is really cool to see. So again, if they can get 2 teams back, that'd be really cool. Thorndon and Raw, CrossFit Naas, Tasman Bay. So yeah, it's quite a few teams in that top 50 from New Zealand, so it's really cool to see. So I think a lot of these teams can already make a good charge up leaderboard, depending on what the last 2 workouts are from the Open and where kind of everything sits. If you do have any questions about the CrossFit Open, any kind of progress or how it all works this year, who will most likely see pop up at the games or Torian or semifinals from New Zealand, I'll be doing a lot of covering this year of our New Zealand athletes. Predominantly just working on those ones and just kind of giving them a bit of limelight and celebrating how good our athletes actually are. So again, if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you haven't, let me know. If you've got any other bits of information, you can message me through it, and I'll give you a shout out next week on, we'll make this an update show. Yeah, we can call this an update show. Why not? That'd be a bit of fun. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to enjoy making content like this for the rest of the season. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.